Hello everyone, uh, this is Excalibeard, and I know that it's kind of outside of the norm for me to post a vlog twice in 1 week and also on a Friday, um, but I don't feel comfortable with waiting on this particular vlog anymore just because I know it's old news, I know that it's everywhere now, but as most of you have probably already heard, the president of Nintendo, I will not be able to pronounce his name correctly, Satoru Iwata? Iwata? Uh, I'm very sorry. But he passed away at age 55 of cancer, I believe. And I wanted, I wanted to tell a story about how the way I feel about that. When I was 6 years old, 4 years old, before I was six or when I was six, I had my first gaming console. It was the Super Nintendo, and Super Mario World was the first game I ever had, and I remember um, getting very frustrated at someone who was that young. And I remember my dad, who probably wishes now he had never said this, but he basically taught me a very valuable life lesson of finishing what you start. You started this on, you have to see it through because this is something that you enjoy. This is something that you have started on your own. This is something that you need to see all the way through. And I did. And I got to where I could beat the entire game in 6 hours, which I know there's speedruns of the game like a lot faster than that. But anyways, beside the point. Um, when I was, let's see, how old was I? I was either 7 or 8. I forget the exact. To be honest, I forget my exact age, but it was when I was really young. My parents got me a Nintendo 64, and it had Super Mario 64 on it and Mario Kart. But the my two favorite games playing on there, other than like later on when I was older, when I was a little bit older, I played Ocarina of Time. That became my favorite game. But my first favorite game, the first game that I said this is my favorite game ever, was um, Super Smash Brothers, the first one, uh, which was HAL Production. Um, just that whole entire experience, I was a hardcore Nintendo fan up until, like, I was strictly only Nintendo up until I was like 15, and I got the PlayStation 2 for Kingdom Hearts after that. But Nintendo and HAL Studio was a huge part of my childhood, a huge part of my life. I'm not quite sure why hearing about a president of a company, about his death, it's affecting me the way it has been. And it certainly is not the only thing depressing that's happened this week. I mean, but it's certainly one of the most depressing. It's certainly the most depressing thing that's happened this week. And I just wanted to throw out a video to acknowledge him and thank him for instilling in me a love of video games and instilling in me a sense of wonder and imagination. Without video games at that age, I probably wouldn't have one. It got me interested in story. It got me interested in going outside of my comfort zone, finishing things that I wasn't necessarily comfortable with, and reaping the rewards at the end of it. Every human being dies. We all know people die. It's just it's sad to see it happen to someone who you don't even really recognize, especially when you don't really recognize them as a part of your life, when you just stop and realize the thousands and thousands of people that affect you every day of your life from your childhood onward. It's staggering. They go by unnoticed, and sure, he was a CEO of a big company, but I mean, I never talked about him. I never thought about him much. But without him, a lot of people's lives would have been very different. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. This has been Excalibeard, and I'll see you in the next one. So